What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised.
Does Jacob Elordi hate TKB? Is that the reason we won't see another installment? Let's find out, shall we? So, TKB4, is it happening?
We would be more than happy to stay here and help you look after this house.
Yes, we're still not over the kissing booth, and we won't be until Netflix greenlights another film. After all, the conclusion to the third one was a bit confusing, and we were left with more questions than answers. Fans of TKB deserved a proper conclusion, and so did Elle and Noah. But instead, we were left with an open end that was meant to serve as the end of the trilogy. Sadly, another film might never happen, and this might truly be the end of the popular franchise. But when it comes to Netflix, a franchise's end doesn't really mean an end. So yeah, there's still a possibility that we're going to see another continuation. A continuation that will put a good conclusion to the story, a better than what we saw in the third installment. Right now, everyone is against the idea of a continuation, from the writer behind the books who refers to the third film as the end of the story, to the creator of the films and even some of the cast members. However, when it comes to successful film franchises, Netflix knows to reconsider their decisions and greenlight another part. After all, these companies mostly care about money, and TKB brought them a lot of bucks. So that's why we're still hoping. When we say that the Kissing Booth franchise is hugely successful, we're not exaggerating. The third film quickly climbed to the top of the most watched list on Netflix shortly after its release date, with more and more fans tuning in to see what will happen to Elle, Lee, Noah, and Rachel. But the fact that the film ends on a cliffhanger makes the possibility of another film even stronger. The third movie followed Elle, played by our dear Joey King, trying to decide what to do with her future. She was faced with a really difficult decision. She was torn between going to Harvard with Noah, her boyfriend, played by Jacob Elordi, and going to Berkeley with Lee, her best friend, who just happens to be Noah's brother. The character is played by Courtney, by the way. Anyway, our beloved protagonist decided to follow her own dreams and went to study video game design at USC. So while the third film marks the end of the franchise, that doesn't mean that we won't see another TKB project in the future. Remember what Netflix did with To All the Boys? The show was given a spin-off TV series, which is already in development. Now, TKB3 leaves space for another film because the film actually ends with a 6-year time jump when Elle and Noah reunite for the first time since they broke up after college. King told Variety that the last scene is up for interpretation, and while she has her own ending in her head, she's really happy to let fans have a really good time guessing. But the problem is that the ending itself is not as big of an issue as are the millions of questions we had that occurred while we were watching the film. Sadly, we won't see the potential fourth installment anytime soon, but as Netflix confirmed, it's time for you to smash that like button if you haven't done it already. No, seriously, it's really sad that the cast is not interested in another film, with King adding that it was really hard for her to say goodbye to Elle. It's very emotional to say goodbye to a character you've been playing for this many years, and also playing this character through such important moments in my life, King told the Nerds of Color. Elordi confirmed that this is the end of the franchise when he told Vanity Fair in November 2020 that The Kissing Booth 3 is really the last kiss. Surprisingly enough, he shared his idea for a potential continuation while he explained his hopes for it. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight, he said that he would like to see Elle, Noah, Lee, and Rachel in a nursing home together. That'd be cool. That'd be quite interesting. Maybe it's like the film in a series of monologues of them recounting everything that happened from 20 to 92. Sadly, when Beth Reekles, the person who wrote the series that the movies are based on, confirmed that the third book serves as the final chapter in the story, we were sure that this is it. This is the end of an era. Reekles has called the third movie and book the final chapter in the story. Here's what she wrote on her site. This is all 10 years in the making. 10 years of Elle and Lee and Noah, and now it's all come to an end. It's the end of an era. So yeah, we won't see another film anytime soon, but we should never say never, because we strongly believe that it's just a matter of time until Netflix or some network greenlights another part. Now we've come to the question that still bothers fans. Do Elle and Noah end together?
You have zero experience with guys. You've never even had a boyfriend.
The ending of The Kissing Booth 3 is confusing, there's no doubt about that. After featuring a 6-year time jump following Elle and Noah's breakup, the pair has one awkward conversation before they leave things uncertain. So they meet again for the first time in these 6 years, outside of the now annual kissing booth. And they look like they still have feelings for each other, but nothing is confirmed. Then Elle tells him she bought a motorcycle, so the next time he's back in Los Angeles, they'll go on a ride together. The last scene we're seeing is with Noah and Elle riding around Los Angeles on their motorcycles, hopefully after getting back together. Netflix's The Kissing Booth 3 decided to make the third film about how Elle should choose herself, and we have no problem with that, but we believe it would have been better if they used this storyline in the second installment, so that they would use a different focus in the third one. We could have seen what happens in those 6 years. We could have seen Elle and Noah getting married. We could have seen how Lee proposed to Rachel. What did you guys think of the TKB ending? Let us know before we get into more details about Jacob Elordi hating TKB.
You wanna live with me?
No. Yes, of course I want to live with you. I want to do everything with you.
Even if the creators of the franchise decide to do another part, we doubt that Jacob Elordi would want to act in it. This is because apparently he hates the film that made him famous. When the first Kissing Booth film was released on Netflix May 2018, the Australian actor became an overnight sensation. Thanks to his role in the popular franchise, he managed to get notable roles in other movies and TV shows, including Euphoria. In an interview with Variety in August 2022, Elordi talked about the Kissing Booth sequel, which premiered in July 2020, and back then, he said that he hadn't seen the film. "I haven't seen it. You've seen more than I have. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I haven't." Then his co-star and ex-girlfriend Joey King decided to save him and the franchise. In a now-deleted tweet, she said that Jacob is joking and he has definitely seen the film. When comparing his characters in TKB and his character in Euphoria, Jacob said that they are two different characters and experiences. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter in June 2019, he said, "The Kissing Booth was the first film I ever made. It was sort of my ticket to Hollywood, so I was really grateful for that. It's almost like righting my wrongs a little bit too, because the character in The Kissing Booth is awful and it's never really explained. He's kind of idolized and made into a hero, so I suppose this show is showing why." We get this point, but we also believe that Jacob regrets playing Noah. After the second film was released, a lot of viewers noticed that the actor's face was miserable throughout the entire film. He then addressed the issue, saying that he has a resting, miserable face, adding that he was really tired and that's the reason for his face looking miserable. He also said that you need to smash that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. No, seriously, it really looks like Jacob hates the franchise that made him famous. See you in the next video.